What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Fit Tip Tuesday video. This week's Fit Tip Tuesday is on meal prep. So I'm going to give you 3 recipe examples that I personally incorporate into my diet every so often. The reason I love meal prep so much is because if you're on the go, you're traveling, you're somewhere working that you can't take everything you need to make a meal, you have it pre-prepared and prepped either the night before or the end of the weekend before a busy week, so you can stay on track. Now, meal prep is important for accountability, hitting your macros, your calories, because personally, if I don't have meals prepped, I have a hard time hitting your macro goals, staying on track, and reaching those fitness goals. So we got 3 recipes: a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. We'll get into it right now.
Yeah. Siege. Riley. Taz. Yeah.
I'm personally a huge fan of food items or meals that you can just hold and eat rather than use a fork and throw in Tupperware. So that's what we're going to start with breakfast. We have some egg white muffins made in a muffin tin. Very few ingredients, so I'll show you what you need. So we have the most important piece, which is the muffin tin, which we're going to use to make the egg white muffins. And then also we have some egg whites, just carton egg whites. You can break up eggs and get egg whites that way as well. Just need some non-stick cooking spray for the muffin tin. Some vegetables, so we're going to use red pepper. We're going to use mushrooms. And then for some more protein sources, we're going to use Canadian bacon. This Canadian bacon has awesome macros. And then a very small amount of cheese that we're going to use at the end. So essentially what we're going to do is just cut up or dice up the pepper and the mushrooms a little bit more. After we spray the muffin tin, we're going to place the peppers and the mushrooms in there, fill it with some egg whites, bake it, and then top it with a little bit of cheese. So I'm about to add the egg whites. I have the peppers and the mushrooms in each one of these tins, and I want to be accurate with the protein content in each one. So what I did is I just put the muffin tin on the scale in grams, and then I'm going to try to add the same amount of egg whites to each one of these muffin tins. And then at the end, I'll take the total amount of grams of egg whites in this whole tin and divide it by 12 because there's 12 muffins. Now, it's a clear sign that they are done when they start popping out of the muffin tins on their own. All right, so the muffins are done. This is what they end up coming out looking like right here. What I'm gonna do to finish them off is add a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of pepper. And then I have 3 servings of just cheese weighed out right here. So 3 servings of cheese that I'm gonna use on all 12 of the muffins. Now, each muffin, the macros are 15 grams of protein, 1 gram of carb, and 2 grams of fat. Each muffin has 2 servings of egg whites, 1 slice of Canadian bacon, and then a third of a serving of cheese. Now we are moving on to lunch, the next best thing, which is the Crock-pot. Now the great thing about a Crock-pot is you literally just set it, you forget it, and then you have that meal for the morning or that next day or that week. It's so easy. You literally just chop a bunch of stuff up. You can use so many different variations of this, put it in, turn it on, you're done. So this is a very macro-friendly chili recipe. So I'll show you what you need. 3 chicken breasts. I'm just using 3 of the 4 in this pack. I'm gonna dice up an entire red pepper, green pepper. I have some already pre-chopped onion, 1 cup of low sodium chicken broth, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 cans of Great Northern beans, and then I'm just gonna add some pepper in there for a little bit of spice. So chop it up, put it in here. Based off my calculations, this recipe makes about 6 servings. I use about 30 ounces of chicken. So if you put it in the crock pot, it's low for 6 hours or high overnight, over 8 hours. Make 6 servings. Each serving is 35 grams of protein, 24 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. So the great thing about this recipe for a lunch is you can make this on a Sunday and you have meals for the entire week for lunch. It stays and lasts long. It's filling because of the fiber in the beans. Meal prep for lunch. We have our oven preheating right now at 400 degrees. And what you're gonna need for this last meal is just a big pan. You see a lot of people that meal prep. They'll make their rice separate, their potatoes separate, they'll grill their chicken, they'll cook their ground turkey on the stove. All these different things takes forever. Well, I found a solution. Steph introduced me to a solution. It's called the one pan meal, and it will change your life for meal prep. You see all of these ingredients right here are going to go on that pan and then in the oven, which is preheating right now. So what we're gonna do is chicken, this whole package of chicken. The way I'm gonna prep this is I'm just going to put 1 tablespoon of olive oil in this gallon baggie, throw the chicken breast in there just to evenly coat the chicken with some olive oil. I'm going to throw this entire thing of green beans on the pan, and then I'm gonna dice up about half the bag of red potatoes, throw them in the pan as well. I'm going to put some rosemary on the chicken, potatoes, and green beans, a little bit of sea salt. I'm going to squeeze a lemon, put a lemon on there, and then a little bit of pepper. So all of this right there. So once the oven is preheated, 400, you're gonna bake it for 30 minutes. And I have to admit, like, this is a great recipe for meal prep. It tastes great, it's convenient, everything's on one plate, but it's also like very aesthetically pleasing. You can take this to parties or cook it for your friends and whatnot. You get this whole tray, and then when everyone sits down for dinner, you just throw the tray on the table and you're good to go. So we're gonna throw this in right now. All right, so the last meal, this is the one pan chicken, potato, green beans. I could probably get out of like a plate like this, I'd say 3 or 4 meals. So I'll let you know what the macros are right now. So something like this, it really determines how much you put on the pan before it goes in the oven, obviously, for what you're gonna get out of it. So I would probably do, or get 3 or 4 meals out of this whole pan. And for each meal, I would do about a 7-ounce serving of chicken, 8-ounce serving of potatoes, and like a handful of green beans. So that would end up being 42 grams of protein, 38 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of fat for that meal. All right, guys, so that's the video. Just a few options for meal prep. We have meal number 1, breakfast, which was the egg muffins. Right here in the crock pot, it's still cooking, is the chicken chili. And the last one was the pan meal, just the chicken, potatoes, and green beans. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you liked it and enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you in the next Fit Tip Tuesday.